Hello, children. Have a nice day. So, um, we finished the previous class up to fourth paragraph. We came across the events how um, Till came to the palace of Battenberg. The Archduke smiled and said, "Well, my dear fellow, you will certainly have something more solid than dreams to feed on. But where is your donkey?" And the Archduke smiled and said, "You might have something more solid, that is solid than dreams to feed on. But where is your donkey?" He asked him about his donkey. "I left him outside, opposite the palace. I shall be most grateful if Jeff is looked after." And he said that he's standing outside opposite the palace, and he shall be very thankful if Jeff is looked after very kindly. He needs a little fodder, and Jeff means donkey, the name of the donkey. He needs a little fodder, little food, and lodging at night, and he wanted to stay anywhere, said Tail. The Archduke immediately ordered the donkey to be taken care of, and he added, "Treat it like one of my animals." And Archduke ordered his courtiers to treat the donkey like one of his own animals. Before long, supper was served, and it was like a wedding feast. And there was a supper, and it was just like a wedding feast, very grand supper. The tables were loaded with every kind of food and drink. The tables were full of various food and drink. Wine flowed like water. The courtiers stuffed themselves with the choicest dishes. The courtiers were very much satisfied with themselves with the choicest dishes. The Archduke made Till eat and drink until his stomach was about to burst, about to break. The Archduke too ate heartily. His face was flushed with drink, but he seemed lost in thought. He suddenly looked up and said loudly, "Our court painter must paint our portrait so that we will have the satisfaction of leaving our memory to our descendants." Descendant means the followers of his kingdom. And he wanted the court painter to paint his portrait, his picture, so that what is the reason for it? He wanted to leave that portrait for satisfying the descendants of his kingdom, to leave his memory. We too have to take our place in history, and he also wanted his kingdom to take a place in history along with their noble ancestors whose portraits adorn these walls, decorate. It is sad to think of death. It is not very fair to think about death. We do not know when God will think fit to summon us. We don't know if when will God call us to death. But our portrait should be painted. But anyway, our portrait should be painted. Till quickly replied, "Your lordship's slightest wish is to me command." It's a command for me to fulfill your slightest wish. All the same, I do feel rather unhappy, but I am also unhappy because about painting your lordship all by yourself. I don't like to paint only by yourself, but is it not terrible to think of your lordship being lonely forever and ever? I don't like you to live alone because don't you think, ladies and gentlemen, that His Highness should be accompanied at least by Her Highness, her ladies, the noble generals and captains who adorn this court? This court is adorned by many courtiers, many servants, and Her Highness, the Lady of Archduke. Then how can he be alone without accompanying by all these people? A court like this has few rivals in splendor, loveliness, and chivalry. In the midst of such valor and beauty, I will make my lord and lady shine for. I want to make my lady and lord shine just like the moon, surrounded by lanterns. Lanterns means hanging lamps. The Archduke thought that it was a good idea. Then Archduke also thought that it was a good idea. Well, my friend, your painting will be a great piece of art. What reward do you expect for it? What reward do you expect for your painting? 100 pieces of gold. You can pay me now or later, just as you please. Okay, I want 100 pieces of gold. Either you can pay it now or later, just as you please, as you like. Here are the 100 pieces of gold in advance. Okay, you can take 100 pieces of gold in advance, said the Archduke, giving him the gold. My lord, you are the most generous of masters. You have filled my lamp with oil. It will forever burn in your honor. It will be ever be burned in your honor. The next day, Till asked the Archduke to allow him to see all the courtiers who were to be painted along with him. Next day, Tile wanted to see all the courtiers who were to be painted along with him. They came and saw him one by one. Okay, all the courtiers came and saw him one by one. The first to come was this commander in chief of the army. The commander in chief was a short, fat, bald man with an enormous sponge. Okay, he whispered in Till's ear, and he was a short, fat, bald man without any hair, and he had an enormous sponge. Okay, you have to mark it because you may have the points to write the character sketch of Commander in Chief. Okay, and Commander in Chief murmured something in Till's ear. What was he whispering? When you paint my picture, remember you are to make me look handsome. You have to make me more beautiful. If you do not make my stomach look flat, okay, because he has an enormous sponge. So, if you do not make my stomach look flat, I will have you hanged. I will hang you. Remember, I was once a very handsome soldier. Okay, then next came an elderly lady. She had a large hump on her back. Okay. Sir Painter, she said softly, make me look young and beautiful. Actually, she was not very, no, she could not walk straightly because she had a large hump on her back. Then she asked the painter to make her look young and beautiful. If you don't remove the hump on my back and supply what I lack in beauty, you have to supply what I am lacking in beauty. I will have you torn to pieces. I will torn you to pieces. Okay, then next came a young lady who was the companion of the Duchess. He came in as soon as the old lady left. She was young and pretty, very beautiful, but had lost three of her front teeth in an accident. What was her demand? She wanted till that within her picture she didn't see herself smiling with a perfect set of pearly teeth. She would have him cut into small bits by her lover. Okay, she wanted her to smile. She wanted herself to smile in the picture with a perfect set of pearly teeth. What she was lacking. Okay. Otherwise, what will happen? She will ask her lover to cut the painter into small pieces. She pointed to the captain of guards. That was her lover. Similar requests and threats continued until he had finished with the last of the courtiers. Then the Archduke sent for him and said, my dear fellow, and Archduke called him and said, my dear fellow, I want your portrait to be perfect in every detail. Okay, your portrait painting should be very perfect in every detail. You are to paint all my courtiers exactly as we see them. Okay, you have to that you have to paint all my courtiers as they really are. If you leave out a mole and if there is any change, if you leave out a mole or pimple or a single gray hair, I will have you slaughtered like a pig. I will kill you. I will slaughter you like a pig. Till Cooley thought things over and said to himself, if I paint this picture, I shall certainly be killed. Certainly be killed. Okay, surely I will be killed if I paint this picture. Either the Archduke will have me slaughtered like a pig, either the Archduke will kill me like a pig for having disobeyed him, or the courtiers will have me murdered. Otherwise, the courtiers will murder me for painting them as they really are. In either case, I am to die. Anyway, I will die. What I am to do? Perhaps it's wiser, it's intelligent not to paint this picture at all. What is the most intelligent thing? The following day, he asked the Archduke for the hall where he was to paint the picture. He was shown a large room with bare walls, with empty walls, till asked for thick curtains to be hung on the walls because he wanted his painting to be protected from the flies and dust. He also asked for three assistants, and he also demanded that he made a condition that he wanted three assistants, three servants to help him in mixing colors. The Archduke gave him all that he asked for. He was given all that he demanded for. For 30 days, Till and his assistants feasted themselves. They had They had their own choicest dishes and drank the finest wines. On the 31st day, the Archduke thrust his nose. He wanted to know what is happening there. In through the door and said, "It's time that you finish the painting. I am eager to see it. Is it ready?" Till said that the picture was being completed and that he needed some more days to finish it. The Archduke replied that as long as the painting was perfect in every detail, he was prepared to be patient, and he was ready to being patient. The delay of a week or two did not matter, he said. Till and his companions continued their merrymaking. They enjoyed very happily for another fortnight. On the 45th day, once again the Archduke poked his nose. He was very much eager to know about the painting. In through the door, and isn't it time that the picture was completed? Did you complete the picture? He asked. Till said that the portrait was being given the finishing touches. He begged for some more time. The Archduke said that his delay did not matter so long as he did an excellent job. Okay, and the Archduke said that it is not very uh, it is not an excuse for delaying that because he did an excellent job. So long as he did an excellent job, it is not a matter. But he added, you should either complete the picture, but he want him, you should either complete the picture within 15 days or you should show me the unfinished picture now. Till promised to complete the picture within 15 days, saying that only a few minor details remain to be filled in. Should your lordship see the painting now? You would not be satisfied with it. If you see the painting now, you will not be satisfied with it, he said, because it is not finished. Till and his companions enjoyed themselves for yet another fortnight. They enjoyed another fortnight. On the 60th morning, the Archduke forced his way into the room, okay, and said, I must see the picture at once. Where is the picture? Draw those curtains apart. I want to know, see the picture. Where is the picture? And you have to draw those curtains apart. The picture is ready, my lord, announced Till. Then why don't you draw the curtains? What is the matter? The Archduke asked. I want you to grant me one last favor, said Till. You have to grant me one last favor. Please order all the courtiers to assemble in this room. You can call all the courtiers to assemble in this room. When they are here, I want to say a few words to them, and then I will draw the curtains. The Archduke ordered all the courtiers to assemble in the hall. Till addressed them, My lord, ladies and gentlemen, the picture is ready. Till announced them that the picture is ready. You will now be able, you will now be able, as I draw the curtains to see how well I have done my work. Okay, you can now see as I draw the curtains, you can see how I have done the work very perfectly. You can all admire my work. But I must warn you that there is something very special about this picture. There is something very special about this picture. Only those among you, you who have noble blood in your veins, those who have noble blood in your veins will be able to see this painting. All the rest of the other people, whatever their rank or position, will see nothing. They cannot see anything but a blank wall, an empty wall. Now I will draw the curtains. Till flung the curtains aside. The courtiers outdid one another in showing their admiration for the picture. Okay, the courtiers began to admire the picture one by one. They praised Till for his splendid painting, beautiful painting. They remarked how natural each one of them looked in the picture and eagerly pointed out their friends and acquaintances, familiar ones. Acquaintances means familiar persons. All of a sudden, the Duke's jester leaped into the air and shouted. The Duke's jester jumped into the air and shouted that all of you know that I am a fool and I have no blue blood in my veins. I can see no picture but only a blank wall. Okay, all of you know that I am a fool and I have no blue blood in my veins, but I can't see any picture on the wall, but only an empty wall. Then Till began to understand it is not very fair to stand there. Then Till observed that when fools begin to talk, it's time for intelligent people to walk from there. He calmly walked out of the hall, strode out of the hall, walked out of the hall, and rode away on his donkey. He escaped from the place. The feathers in his cap danced in the gentle breeze. Okay, let's finish our lesson.